Hello, welcome to the tour of pleasure here in the enchanted kingdom of Hermione. We're going through our thrift store input here, and I did a video of the stuff the Empress found me. Now I'm gonna do a video of the stuff I found myself. And holy smoke, the embarrassment of riches! It's unbelievable. And today was great because I think I only hit, well, I don't know, a couple of thrift stores. But as with mushrooms, you'll find a patch, and you'll go, okay, we're gonna stay right here. In this particular case, I ran into a lot of world music. Now I like world music because I don't know. It's hard to know all about world music. There's a lot to know. So I go by labels and likely candidates. Try to piece together my knowledge. And well, anyway, look what we got. We're gonna roll through this stuff because there's a lot of it. Actually, I'm gonna do this one first. First of all, I found now this guy's name rang a bell, and it rang a bell because I don't know if he's still in Vancouver, but he was residing in Vancouver. Now he did most of this himself, and he's an excellent guitarist, and he's an excellent musician. And Nene, I think this might have been his first album. World Exclusive Management, East Hastings, Vancouver, BC, 1993. So this is old. But it was great. And these, I believe, were $1 each. So it's like, hey, I'm in. Right next to it, I found Jai Uttal on Worldly Triloka Records, which is really actually Mercury, the badge of honor, the delete hole. Produced by Jai Uttal, mix translation by Bill Laswell. This is pretty good. It's exactly what you would expect. East Indian music. Bill Laswell has laid his hands upon it. It's pretty funky. I don't remember if too many notable people play on it. Let's see. No, I don't recognize too many names. A lot of Indian musicians. Although there are a lot of white people in the pictures. But at any rate, this was really good. And I sort of enjoyed it without knowing a lot about it. Now, then we come to Luwakabop Records, which is I'll Buy Anything on Luwakabop, David Byrne's label. Not the biggest David Byrne fan, I will be honest. I like Talking Heads a lot. His solo stuff I find very resistible. But he has made up for it with his record label. Now, this is a compilation of a woman named Jura. And it says here she writes haunting songs about the continuing struggle of women in North African societies and the liberation of Algeria. So this is a best of this Jura artist. And it's really good. Again, I wish I understood the words because I'm sure it would have far more impact. What a great picture. Look at that. I'm gonna bet that women would find this more resonant than men. But I found it really good. Then we find that now we're getting into some weird stuff. PMG classics. Ooh. Okay, well we have cello music from Latin America. I have only heard, well, Alberto Ginastera has a piece on here. There's Manuel Enriquez as a sonatina for cello solo, which always interests me. Federico Ibarra, Silvestre I can't even pronounce this. Revuelta Enriquez, thank you. He does a couple of pieces. There's another Jimenez Enriquez. I don't know bugger all about any of these composers. They're relatively recent, I think. That is to say, not... oh, this appears to be from not North America, because there's Spanish writing on the inside. Uruguay. Anyway, I mean, hey, for $1 I'll buy stuff like this. Sometimes you discover a new composer. And then I don't know how you pronounce this fellow's name. Chucho Chucho Valdez. This fellow, this is his Blue Note solo record with based on classical themes. Now, it sounds like a bad idea, but you know what? And they make a big deal that Max Wilcox produced this. He's a very well-known classical record producer. Um, and it is a delightful record. Chuco is a really fabulous Cuban pianist, and his take on classical is well worth hearing. If you like the whole um, the whole Cuban experience that's been happening for the last 20 years, you'll like this. This one's interesting. Island Masters. Okay. Sueno Colombiano. This is a Colombian compilation. Copyright control 1990, owned by Discos Fuentes, Medellin, Colombia. This is great. It's lightweight dance music from Colombia. I've never heard of any of these artists. I put it on. It was wonderful. Now here's a Latin artist that people have actually heard of, Ruben Blades. And this is a pretty slick 2002 Sony Discos, mostly sung in Spanish. However, he does a version of Danny Boy on this. It's a weird version of Danny Boy. I actually kind of like it. This record I expected to not like, but I do like it. It's not bad. And Ruben is generally pretty solid. Then we come up, I was really happy to find this, Radio Tarifa. Now these guys are, I believe, Spanish. This is on World Circuit, I think it is. World Circuit None Such. Again, I'll buy anything on this label. Really good label. And these guys are very, very old world, Moorish influence, modern recording, very adept at modern recording. And I have, I think, at least one of their other records, maybe two of them. Again, I found them all in the thrift store. These guys are really well worth checking out if you like what people would call world music. It's got edges. It's got some impassioned, very interesting singing. Now I'm going to completely shift gears. Okay, so we got through all the world music. Well, maybe one more world music. And this one's a real weird one. Christy Moore. His record for Atlantic, 88. Now, this is a really, really slick record. But Christy Moore is a legend in Ireland. He was a founding member of Planxty. Donald Lunny is his longtime, I believe, guitarist. Co-produces with him. And this is very, very commercial. But it's still really great. There's a song he wrote called Delirium Tremens on this that I really got a kick out of. This record took a while to warm up to because it was so slick that you kind of went, okay. But his spirit really shines through this music like it does on all of his records. I found another record of his. This record I found in a thrift store on Columbia Sony Ireland. And this is 2009. But on this he does a cover of Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And you know what? It's really good. It's really good. Who knew? And this record, this CD, I might mention, the rarity is that I found it, and I'm not sure if this will come out. But if you can see what shape that's in, I rarely buy CDs in this shape, but I thought, I'll never see another copy of this again. I bought it, I brought it home, it played perfectly, which is one of the reasons I like CDs. Now, again, completely shifting gears. Here we have Chad Allen and the Reflections, signed by Chad Allen. Now, I know there's people out there that would get really excited about finding this. I'm not really one of them. It's historical, it's interesting, but it's also really dishonest because here we go. Guess who with their new ELP? Shake it all over, it says. Dance State, you get into the notes. Okay, the notes. Blah, 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 blah. Shake it all over. Shake it all over. Okay, well, there's a problem. Shake It All Over isn't on this. I would have been happy if it was, because that would have made it interesting for me. what this really is, well, they don't really want to see this. First of all, if you are a huge fan of Randy Bachman, you're going to want to hear this because he was a very young electric lead guitarist. And this is basically, apart from, I think, where does this thing? You really have to figure it out to look carefully to see what this is. But from what I get, it is. Where do they tell you again? Most of it is a live gig from 1962, and it's exactly what you would expect a live recording on a portable tape deck from live in 1962 to sound like. I do believe there's a couple of studio tracks on this, but you really gotta look carefully to figure out what the heck. Come on, where does it say it? Anyway, this is a very dishonest record because what it basically is a bootleg of Chad Allen playing live, and it doesn't tell. I know I saw it somewhere. The first 4 songs on this CD were recorded in late 1962 at the band's first recording session at K-Bank Studios in Minneapolis. The live tracks on the CD, which is to say everything but the first 4 tracks, were recorded sometime in '62 at a dance, possibly Melrose School Gymnasium in Winnipeg. The live recordings were made by their manager, according to Chad, with only one microphone. Yep, and you know it sounds just like it. Anyways, I bought this just because, wow, this must be rare. Might be interesting to listen to. And no, I'm not a big fan of Randy Bachman, but somebody might find this interesting. Maybe I'll sell it. Who knows? Moving right along, and again, this is what I love about the thrift stores. Here's a Brownie McGee record I've never heard of. What? Where's Sonny Terry? Oh, I forgot. They hate each other. And this is on Blue Rock It Records, 1985, Redwood Valley, California. I've never heard of Blue Rock It Records. It's one of these great records where some of the song titles have asterisks beside them, but there's nothing to tell you what the asterisk is meaning. Sorry, there it does. It's very hard to see. Those are the songs that Mark Hummel plays harp on, as opposed to Mark Ford. Robin Ford plays guitar on this, lead guitar on this. 1985. And needless to say, just look at this. Oh, God, it's so, this was a rent payer album if I've ever heard one. Not that it's bad. It's actually pretty good. The young white people playing with him do their best, and they do okay. Then we found, and this was kind of a nice thing to find. I love finding stuff like this for $1. This is essentially 2 albums by Sarah Vaughan with Quincy Jones. What was it called? Sarah with Strings and Sarah with Voices? Vaughan and Violins, Vaughan and Voices, right. So they're slick, they're orchestrated, she sings beautifully on them. I believe these are from somewhere in the early 60s. 58, and 63. There you go. Sarah Vaughan. How can you not buy Sarah Vaughan? Come on. Once again, shifting gears completely, we enter the classical realm. And here we have a Harmonia Mundi of France doing the music of Eric Zeisel, who was an Jewish composer from, I believe, Germany. He went to America. This has his 2nd string quartet on it. He died the year I was born, 1959. This is really solid. I collect string quartets by obscure composers. Ticks the box. Harmonia Mundi France. I'll buy anything on Harmonia Mundi France because it's really good stuff. Very high production standards. They do have the Production USA, it says on this. They do have sort of an American arm, which puts up some pretty cool stuff as well. And then we get to, now I had to buy this. I've got this on LP. Now, I'm not going to say this is a great record. But if you're a record collector who is into both classical and pop, you got to own this. You got to own it. It's a necessity. I mean, she does Carl Orff. I mean, really, Streisand is doing Carl Orff. All right, interesting. Klaus Ogerman is on this. Yeah, that famous classical composer Klaus Ogerman. Oh, wait, he produced the album. That's a shock. Some Cantalube, some Wolf, a couple of Foray songs. You know what? It's actually a very pleasant record. I think if I had to pick between the two, though, I would probably pick Nana Mouskouri's classical record. But really, it's sort of a moot point. And finally, and this was a delight to find, Joni Mitchell's last record, which, after saying that she was done with the music business, they were a bunch of crooks and bums, she then ups and signs with fucking Starbucks, of all people. But hey, we all have to eat. And this is, as you would expect, a very solid record. It's not real commercial. Um, it's, but it's a worthy record to her catalog, and if it should prove to be her last record, it's not a bad record to go out on. So there you go. That whole batch of there cost me $20. Can't believe it. I've derived massive enjoyment out of at least half of them, and the other half of them are great. The Chad Allen I'll probably sell, but normally I try to either give these away or whatever. Maybe I'll trade them in on other stuff. But there you have it. At thrift stores, wow, you just never know when you go into a thrift store. Sometimes there'll be nothing. Sometimes you'll get this. And that's why I love them so much, because there's a lot of stuff in here I would have never heard were it not for my jaunts to the thrift stores. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button and look after yourselves in the COVID. We're entering the new post-Christmas wave, so be careful. Hopefully everybody can get vaccinated that wants to, and we can get over this and start a new era of something better. We're not going to go back to the old days, I don't think, so don't get your hopes up. But look after each other and be kind to each other. Wear your mask. Avoid everybody that you have to, that you don't need to be with. And we'll talk to you next time. Take care.